Make us all nice and pretty.
Okay, welcome everyone. I am Sam Fillingham, CEO of PIP-UK. I am here with the wonderful Jean Davidson, who set up the Global Poland Syndrome group on Facebook. Thanks for joining us today, Jean.
Nice, great to be here.
So we're doing a series of questions. People will know this now. We've recorded a few of these. And so, Jean, it would be wonderful for you to just share with us about your Poland syndrome journey and how you've been affected over the years.
Well, I was born in '64, obviously. At that time, it's unclear if it was known about my Poland syndrome. My mom just told me it was a uh, birth defect, and that's basically the way it was left. I grew up pretty normal. I wasn't held back. There was no hindrances to what I could not do. I just did everything. I was born with I had webbing between my fingers, all four of them, and it my chest. Obviously, I have a divot on my right side of my chest, and obviously I'm right side affected. But yeah, I went through life pretty normal, I guess. It didn't really affect my friendships, dating, really, or nothing like that. Uh,
Good.
didn't affect. The only thing it did affect was I was unable to get into any kind of military service.
Mm. Yeah. Good stuff. And so obviously we're doing this global Poland syndrome register, Jean, and bringing everyone together for that to finally get some data about Poland syndrome. It'd be really great to understand what it means to you for us to be doing that.
I think it's a good idea. We need to get awareness out there, get everybody comfortable with their Poland syndrome or the PS anomaly. I know there's a lot of people out there still that are very shy, very don't not outspoken about it. There's they're I guess you call them introverts. They
Mm.
just don't you know like I said, I brought up very normal. I mean, I ran around as a kid. I ran around with my shirt off. I had no really. I don't even recall even being bullied,
Mm.
which is it's kind of I guess kind of odd for me when I hear people that are being bullied with it. Seems more prevalent over in on your side of the
Mm.
pond, I think, and I don't know why that would be. I
Yeah.
mean, we're all the same. We're all normal to a certain extent. But yeah, I was pretty good. I think the organization as a whole is really good for everybody. It's starting to bring more and more people out. More and more people are getting the the word out, especially with the groups.
Mm.
There are a lot of groups other than mine. I mean, there's I think four more groups, I
Yeah,
believe.
at least. Yeah, yeah. There's quite a
Yeah.
few online, isn't there?
Yeah, and I started when I found out in 2011 what what I was diagnosed with finally. I just started doing research to figure out, okay, this is it. Okay, wow, this is cool. I mean, this is what I have. I finally have a name for it, blah. And then I honed in on the PIP UK group organization, and that's where I got my start. I mean, I
Mm.
just kept reading stuff, and I think I emailed a couple times. And then finally, 2012 is when I decided that, okay, there needs to be a group created somehow so that we can get more awareness out there, pull more people in, especially with um, new parents.
Yeah.
And, and I see that with the new parents coming in, there's finally some of them are getting a diagnosis.
Mm. Yeah, and the more early diagnosis, the better. Hey, that's what we want for everyone.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So there's about around about 2,500 people in the group that you run now, Jean, isn't there?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Something like that.
a lot
I
of
get
people.
a, yeah, I get a, I'll get a little lag in it and, one or two people, and all of a sudden I'll get a rush, and then
Yeah,
I'll get a bunch of people come in and stuff. And, I'm sorry if I don't, I like to get people like welcomed in and get them in the group real quick. I do the, the initial, allow them to come in and stuff, which is, that's about most I can do. And then when I finally get a time to settle in and settle down, a couple of days, and then I'll invite everybody in.
yeah, that's amazing. So to all of those people in that group, if they're not sure about signing up to this register, what would you say to sort of help encourage them to sign up?
I would say that re- signing up and registering in your global group is the best thing that can happen, because there's more, you have more information than I can supply. I mean, yeah, I can go to PIP-UK and read stuff and copy stuff and move it over to my group, but also it's really good to, register with another organization or another group, and you learn more. Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody can, has other ideas. I mean, I might give like something that I do to make myself comfortable, or what I have done, throughout the years,
Mm,
that, to me, like I said, to me, it was nothing. It was normal for me to just take my shirt off and run around outside, you know, play with my friends and stuff like that. And then that's what everybody needs. They need that encouragement, that extra push.
yeah, absolutely. And you do so much to bring everyone together, and you always have done ever since you set up the group. It's amazing. That many people that just come together, support each other, and then all the Zooms you've done as well. So thanks for all you do to
Yeah.
bring us all together, Jean. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Once the weather starts changing more and more, and I'll thinking about it again. So I'm going to start those back up shortly.
Cool. We'll keep
Once
an eye out for those.
once deer season settles down and
Mm,
stuff, like not so busy and not so hectic.
yeah, awesome.
And with being on a different shift, then I can hopefully move times around so I can get everybody, different,
Yeah.
European countries to come in, and Asian countries, and stuff like that.
That's it. It's fair to say we've both made many a friend around the world with those Zooms now, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is amazing. I feel like at this point we're lucky in that there's probably not many countries where I've not met at least one person online with Poland syndrome, which is quite amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hopefully more to come with this new register.
Yeah. Hopefully, and more encouragement,
Yeah.
uh, to get people to come and talk about Poland syndrome and talk about what they're going through. And I mean, that's what it is. We're a support group. That's what we want to do. We want to support people, build them up so that they could go out and do some of the things that I do. Um, what does Georgie do?
He's a big football, so soccer, football.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
loves that. Yeah. So it's, his hands never really held him back with that. We do a bit of jiggery pokery with his goalie gloves because he loves being in goal.
Well, that's
So,
cool.
yeah,
Being goalie is a good, that's the big part. That's an important part of the game.
he enjoys that. So two different sizes of gloves to
Yep. Yep.
make.
That's what I have to do when I go out and buy gloves. I have to buy two different sizes.
Yeah, yeah. But it works, doesn't it? We make it work. So
Yep.
yeah, it doesn't seem to be holding him back really with his sports. Aches and pains hold him
Hmm.
back a little, but he gets by. We don't really, you don't like you. It's not a big part of him. It's
Mhm.
just, you know, it's one teeny part of him, and it doesn't really come up day to day. So
It's just there.
yeah.
You know, when you're born with something, it's just there. We live, we've lived, I'm 57, so we lived our whole life with this. Lived my whole life with a small hand and a hole in my chest or a divot, and it's just normal. I do things just as just as good or just as better than anybody else can, because get my hand in smaller places, you know. Yeah.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
the superpower, isn't it?
You know, yeah, you know, I can't get a hold of that. I can't reach it. Here, let me try it.
Yeah.
The
Mm,
difficult part is obviously there's the joints. You know, if you don't have any joints that move and bend and stuff, there's where it comes into play with, you know, not being able to grasp something properly, or, you know, do the, you know, or like, well, I can't write obviously because my hand, my wrist, and everything doesn't move the way it should. I
mm,
want it to, my brain says for it to, but it just won't do it.
yeah. Just these things that you have to get used to, isn't it? And just what
Yeah.
you've always known, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see the little the infants, the toddlers and stuff on in Poland syndrome support, and the parents are so excited when, you know, the child, or the child, the toddler is learning how to grasp and do things for themselves, and they, you know, you actually, it's just like I said, it's just normal. You just come with, it's part of the game. You
Mm,
know, you adapt.
yeah.
You have to adapt to a world that's two-handed.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, wonderful. We could talk all day about this, Jean. We often do, don't we, when we get on
Yeah, 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 yeah.
online. But thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us today. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I was glad I could, you know, jump in and do this after, you know, being rushed home
Yeah.
from
Thank
the antique
you.
store. That's okay.
You're so
That's
good.
okay. I could go back.
Yeah. Thanks for cutting short your antiquing, Jean.
You're welcome.